Every gardener, whether seasoned or just starting out, eventually faces a heart-wrenching question. Is this plant still salvageable, or is it time to let it go? Knowing when to stop investing time, energy, and resources into a struggling plant can save you frustration and allow you to redirect your efforts toward healthier, more productive greenery. While plants are resilient, there comes a point where revival attempts cross over into wasted time. The key lies in understanding the signs of irreversible decline, the difference between temporary stress and fatal damage, and the underlying causes that push a plant past the point of no return. The first thing to examine is the root system, because a plant's true condition is often hidden beneath the soil. Gently lift the plant from its container, or carefully dig around its base if it's in the ground. Healthy roots should be firm, pliable, and pale in color, usually white or light tan. If you find that the roots are mushy, slimy, black, or emit a foul odor, it's a strong indicator of root rot, a fungal or bacterial condition that is rarely reversible once it reaches this stage. Severely rotted roots mean the plant has lost its ability to take up water and nutrients, making recovery impossible no matter how much fertilizer or water you give. Another telling sign is stem and leaf health. For herbaceous plants, a mushy, collapsing stem often signals advanced disease or pest damage that has already spread internally. For woody plants, scratch the bark on a branch with your fingernail. If you see green tissue underneath, there's still some life. If it's brown and brittle all the way through multiple branches, that section is dead. When the majority of stems fail this scratch test, the plant is almost certainly gone. It's important to note that a few dead leaves or branches aren't a death sentence. Plants naturally shed older growth. The danger comes when the dieback is widespread and consistent. Leaf color and texture can also be a window into a plant's condition. While yellowing leaves might simply indicate overwatering, nutrient deficiency, or seasonal change, a plant with leaves that are uniformly brown, crispy, and falling off en masse without producing new growth is in serious trouble. If the plant has gone through an entire growing season without putting out fresh shoots or leaves, it's a clear signal that its energy reserves are depleted. In perennials, this dormancy without renewal is a red flag that it has passed the point of recovery. Pest and disease infestations can sometimes be controlled, but when they've overwhelmed the plant's immune system, it's often best to remove the plant entirely to protect the rest of your garden. Plants that are more than 70 to 80% covered in pests like aphids, scale, or spider mites, despite repeated treatments, are unlikely to rebound. Likewise, plants with systemic diseases such as mosaic viruses or bacterial wilts are often unsalvageable because these pathogens live inside plant tissues, making them impossible to eradicate. Environmental stress also plays a role in determining whether to keep trying. Plants scorched by prolonged drought or extreme heat may bounce back if their roots are still alive, but if they've been bone dry for weeks and the roots are brittle and hollow, it's over. Similarly, frost damage can sometimes be pruned away to allow regrowth, but if freezing has reached deep into the root zone, the plant won't recover. One of the most overlooked indicators is the plant's overall ability to rebound after stress. Healthy plants usually respond to pruning, watering adjustments, and fertilization by producing some new growth within a few weeks to a month. If, after several weeks of optimal care, the plant shows no signs of improvement, no budding, no fresh leaves, no stem firmness, it's telling you that its energy reserves are completely gone. Knowing when to give up doesn't mean you've failed as a gardener. It means you're making a smart decision to protect your time, resources, and the health of your garden. Removing a dying plant also prevents the spread of pests and diseases and makes room for new, thriving plants that can reward you with beauty, food, or habitat for pollinators. If you're unsure, it's always worth doing a final life check by inspecting roots, performing the scratch test, and monitoring for new growth over a short period. But once you see multiple signs, rotted roots, widespread dieback, no regrowth despite care, it's time to say goodbye. By learning to recognize these indicators, you'll become more confident in making the tough call, and your garden will benefit from the space, sunlight, and nutrients freed up for healthier plants. Gardening is as much about letting go as it is about nurturing, and the wisdom to know the difference can make all the difference in creating a vibrant, thriving space.